What's up guys, Wallety Games here, back with another video on the channel, and today's video is another chess video. And in this video I'll be reviewing a couple of my chess matches that I played about an hour ago. So in these matches I made some pretty bad mistakes because I'm only a beginner chess player. As you can see on the screen, I'm only at 364 ELO, so that's it's like almost intermediate. Well, no, not really. It's still beginner, I'd say. But I was able to turn around the game and checkmate my opponents in both of these matches that I'm going to showcase, and I thought it was cool, so I'm just going to make a video on it. So, in this match, we start off with a normal king's pawn opening. We protect that pawn. He moves out his queen early, and I don't pay enough attention to that because I go ahead and move that pawn there, and I take back with a knight, realizing that I can't take his bishop with my queen because his queen is protecting it, and that would just be a huge blunder, and I'd probably lose the game. So what I do is I move my knight there to put some pressure on his queen. He moves his queen there, and I can't really do anything. So I put some pressure on his bishop, and he takes the pawn, putting a check on my king, which gives him an extra piece of material, taking my knight, but I still take his bishop. Then he goes there and takes the pawn, threatening to take my rook, and I don't protect it because I come up with a strategy to try to turn the game around. And so what I want to do is I want to be able to move my queen into where the king is, close to the king, and be able to checkmate him with one of my other pieces protecting the queen. So on that white square, I can't move there to checkmate the king because the bishop is protecting that square. So eventually I'll be able to set up a nice little attack. So he puts a check on my king, and then he takes that pawn. He takes that pawn, and I move the pawn up because I realize I can't move my bishops anywhere because he pinned that bishop to my king, and that bishop is stuck in the corner. Then he puts a check on my king, and I move there to kind of get out of the way for good. And he threatens to take my bishop on the next move, or he actually causes a fork. But he can't take that dark squared bishop because it's under my king. And so this is where he messed up, I'd say, because I'm able to move my queen there and check his king, and then he moves his knight in front, and I'm able to move my bishop, my dark squared bishop, out to protect that square when my queen moves in, and he can't do anything anymore. He takes that rook, and it's checkmate. So I'd say that was a pretty good match, and I turned it around very quickly. He made a fatal mistake of moving here, and so that was when he moved there, I was able to see that I could set up that attack and win. So now I'm going to be moving on to the next match. Now this match was a way better match for me. I still messed up quite a bit, but the recovery was a lot better, and there's a more complex sequence of moves to force checkmate. Now, once again, I start with the king's pawn opening. I move my knights, or develop my knights, and I move my bishop there because I'm not sure what his opening is right now, and I'm really confused on what he's doing because I've never seen this opening before. I'm not sure if it is an opening or not. And so I move my pawn there and see if he wants to trade pawns. He doesn't want to. I move my knight there because his queen can't take my knight because my bishop's protecting it, so I get a free pawn. Then I realize what he's doing. He just trapped my bishop there, and he forces me to have to take something, and then he takes back. And then, not realizing that his rook is there for some reason, I don't know why I did that, but I took the pawn. He takes the knight with his rook. Then all I can really do there is castle, and then he moves that pawn up, and I can en passant, so I just go ahead and do that. Then he moves his bishop there, and so I just develop my bishop a little bit, trying to see if I can find an opening for an attack. And I want to move my queen to that dark squared pawn next to my knight, but I can't because the rook is there. Now he moves his knight out, and I move my queen to this square, and eventually I realize that I can do some sort of attack with it. And so I moved my bishop there. I kind of blundered it. And then I force his rook back with my pawn. Then I force that knight back with my other pawn, and so he moves it back. And so what I do now is, now that my rook has space, I move that over and see if I can line up an attack here. He moves his king, but I still move there anyway, causing a fork between both pieces. And so I realize that his bishop is there right after I make the move, but it's okay because I took it as a rook sacrifice and moved my knight there, caused a fork between the king and the queen. So now he has to move his king and I get his queen, and on top of that I get another check. I move my knight there, back to where it was before, and I get yet another check. And I move my queen to that spot right there to kind of develop a little bit, trying to set up checkmate. He moves his rook down, and I check his king, and I'm able to possibly take the rook. He moves his king there, so I can't take the rook anymore, but the next move is checkmate, with the knight protecting that queen on the white square. So I say it was a pretty good match for me, and I was able to figure out how to turn both games around for me after making a lot of mistakes. So in the end, I got the win, and I think that's what's important, and hopefully I can learn from my other mistakes in these matches as well. But thank you guys for watching. I just wanted to share these chess matches, and if you like this video, leave a like, subscribe, and also comment what you would like to see on the channel in future videos.